I am Jeffrey Verdon, the managing member of the Jeffrey M. Verdon Law Group, a boutique law firm with offices in Newport Beach and the Silicon Valley, serving affluent families and successful business owners for their income tax, estate planning, and asset protection needs. We are proud to again be a platinum sponsor of the Excellence in Entrepreneurship Award for the 5th straight year. As a law firm serving the unique needs of the entrepreneur and their families, we've been planning their estates, protecting their assets from lawsuit predators and creditors, and preparing their heirs for the responsibility of heirship for more than 40 years. Now I would like to present one of the awards for excellence in entrepreneurship on behalf of the Orange County Business Journal and its wonderful staff to a most deserving winner, Mr. Emile Haddad, founder, chairman, and CEO of one of California's largest real estate developers, FivePoint. Congratulations, Emile. Congratulations, Emile, for this distinguished honor. You certainly deserve it.
Thank you very much.
So you start FivePoint. FivePoint is, in my research, one of the largest owners and developers of mixed-use communities in coastal California.
Yes.
More lots entitled for real estate development than any other coastal developer.
Yeah, well, that was the strategy of the company, was to create a dominant player in the three markets, San Francisco, LA, and obviously Orange County. You have a dominant player mainly in the Irvine company, but we wanted to come and take a position over here and really start thinking about building what we believed is a city of the future. And it had nothing to do with technology. Every time somebody talks about city of the future, they think about smart cities and things like that.
What's your city of the future? What vision did you have for that?
I think the city of the future is a city that creates a sustainable society. And I am always a student of history because it probably informs us more about the future. And the bottom line is, if you look back at the last 100 years since the disruption of the Industrial Revolution, a lot of the issues that we have to deal with today, whether environmental or social, were a product of how we decided to live and work and all that. I mean, the best example I give is we hard zoned everything. So we had people live one place, work another place, shop another place, and rely on the automobile. And then when we realized that we were actually hurting the environment, we decided to go fix that in silo, but we created a lot of the social inequities that we're dealing with today, housing crisis, homeless, and all that. And what we do at the company is we start from this social fabric and figure out how can we actually create a place where it has equal access to people, where kids can go to the same school, whether they're wealthy or not, to get the same education. A lot of the issues that have closed the door and created silos, as I said, go away. And our belief is that if we really want to create a city of the future, it's a city that doesn't make the same mistake as the past. It doesn't mean that over the coming 50 or 100 years, we're not going to make mistakes as a result of the new disruption we're seeing.
Sure.
But let's at least make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that we made before. And that's really what we do every day.
Fascinating. And so how have the shareholders, how's the community embraced your city of the future?
So, I mean, I always talk in terms of stakeholders rather than shareholders, because shareholders are a component of stakeholders. I mean, our stakeholders are the people who live, the people who work in our communities, our public partners, cities, counties, as well as our associates. Those are the first group that needs to buy into the vision. And then obviously shareholders and investors. And, I think that the difficult thing about creating something that you cannot compare to something else with in the public market is it takes you a lot of time and a lot of effort to explain to people why you're not that company. Because the public market likes to compare companies and looks at them as a matrix.
So I guess it begs the question, why did you go public?
Well,
For the capital?
It's a good question. I can give you the phone. You can talk to my wife as well about it because she asked the same question. No, the fact of the matter is I had investors in my projects. Mm-hmm. And each of these projects had its own set of investors. And a lot of them invested not knowing that the world was going to go upside down in 2008-9. A lot of them were closed funds that needed to monetize at some point in time. And I promised all of them that we will do everything we can to make sure that when the time comes for them to get out whole, they will. And that time came, we combined all the assets, ended up creating this public company. And the only way that I would allow them to monetize and exit if they choose to exit is through a public vehicle. Otherwise, you're going to have to sell the whole project to recapitalize it and disrupt the whole program. So, yeah, we went public with zero debt, and we had delevered the company totally. And we knew that being public is not really the easiest thing, but it has its benefits. But the main reason was to give those investors an ability to exit in a very orderly way.
So you have the three communities. You have Irvine, you have Valencia, and then you've got San Francisco and the docks there. How are those going?
Well, I think the most advanced right now is the Great Park. And we started development in 2013. Today, I think we have probably about north of 4,000 families living there. We have a lot of senior people who meet the very low income, who are living there and living close to their grandchildren. Those who would have never been able to afford a home here. We have families that come from very low income, living next door in the same type of product, sending their kids to the same public schools. We have a high school, 2 K-8s built in partnership with the public system. We have the largest sports complex in the country in partnership with the Anaheim Ducks. We have the largest ice facility over here. We have a partnership with Live Nation on a 12,000-seat amphitheater, the FivePoint Arena. And our recent partnership with the City of Hope now is focusing on how do we start changing healthcare in the area and how do we elevate that. So, we're trying to touch every component, whether it's entertainment, education, healthcare, and we know we can't do it alone. So we are inviting people to come and collaborate with us, people who we believe are best in class.
Interesting. With the few minutes we have left, Governor Newsom appointed you to the California Business and Jobs Recovery Task Force to deal with COVID-19. You go through a recession, you get through that, now you're dealing with COVID. What lessons can you tell us that you've picked up from being on this commission that the audience might be able to benefit by?
Well, I think the biggest lesson is that we learned is that everybody has the right interest. Everybody wants to fix things. But I think the biggest lesson I learned is that democracy sometimes gets messy. It's much easier in conditions like we had before in some different type of a structure of government, autocratic governments, where one person makes a decision and everybody follows. Democracy has huge benefits, obviously, and I would not pick anything different. But in situations like this, democracy becomes a little bit messy because everybody has their own opinion and everybody has their own view. The interest is all a good interest. Everybody wants to get the same finish line. It's how you get there is what ends up being debated.
You're certainly battle-hardened, that's for sure. And lastly, this interview would not be complete without me asking you about your philanthropic activities. Anybody knows anything about you, they know how charitable you are. So tell us about your favorite charities and how do you find the time to devote as much as you do to your philanthropic activities?
Well, you know what, it's interesting. I said it before and I'll say it again. What we do, I view it not as philanthropic, I view it as an investment in our community, in the things that we care about. If we do something with education, people might look at it as philanthropic, but it's an investment in our children. And if we're going to maintain the position of Orange County and take it into the future as a global force, we have to do that. So, as much as I appreciate people looking at it that way, I look at it, as I said, as an investment. But look, I came to this country with nothing. With my family, we didn't know anybody. We were 6 people, and the only people we knew is the 6 people. And we had nothing, and we lived together in a small place. And only in this country you get what I got. And I wake up every day thinking it's a dream. So to give back to a country that has given us so much is nothing to talk about.
Well, you're certainly a deserving winner and a humble man for the success that you've been able to bring to your company, to your stakeholders, and to the community. And I congratulate you on the award and very honored to have had an opportunity to spend a few minutes with you.
Well, thank you. If I may, and as much as I might be taking this award, nobody does things alone. I have a great team that has been with me for a long time. And every time I sit here, I feel a little bit awkward because I'm taking it on behalf of a lot of people because I could never do something alone.
Of course. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jan, very much.